Happy Tuesday. Welcome back. Work is ghetto. Hope you enjoyed your long weekend. We did, and we are suffering. I'm just telling you. We're mostly suffering because we don't want to do it. Okay. Uh,
Right.
I'm just saying, it's just that simple. Welcome back. Make sure that you like on the way in, subscribe, and share. Please and thank you. I'll have my co hosts introduce themselves, and then we will get started.
Hi, everybody. It's Rose. Happy Taco Tuesday. How's everybody doing tonight?
I'm doing
I'm
great.
tired. I'm tired.
You tired? Why you tired? Why you tired, Rose?
Because I've been off too long. I've been off too long. I forgot what it felt like to work, to be a working woman.
Because work is ghetto. Thank you. Jojo?
Hi everyone, this is Jojo Abanero, your IT project manager by day, cigar enthusiast by night. I would like to wish Roro welcome back to the workforce. having to having to take breaks is gonna be taking your food to work to make sure you don't spend your money.
Oh,
I
I did.
mean,
I didn't do it today because I don't know why I didn't think about making no lunch. And then when I went to lunch where I was working at, I'm like, dang, I ain't even know where to eat. I have to go to Renner Snitch. So, and all I got was a hot dog and some jalapeno poppers, and it was $12. I was
It's
really mad about that.
expensive, bro. It's
I was
expensive.
like, I could have got me a salad at Stater Brothers or Walmart for $3
that's
and been
right.
fine.
It
That's
makes
right.
much more sense to go ahead and go to a store, a local Walmart, something like that, because it really is out of control. It
That's
is.
right.
It is. I went to McDonald's this morning for breakfast. I'm like, we switched our schedule, so I went in today, and I'm like, I think I need to eat. So I stopped to get it. I took one bite, and it made me so nauseous. But my problem was I just paid almost $10 for two sausage muffin with egg because they was like, "Ma'am, if you order one, it's
Mhm.
this much, but if you order two, it's this much." So I'm like, "Okay, I'll just take the two and eat one tomorrow." And the shit made me sick. I need to eat it.
McDonald's. It's something about McDonald's food. I can only can eat it in like not a lot.
Those.
No,
It
Hmm.
is. I
sparingly.
can't eat it a lot.
I haven't ate it in so long, but I was like, maybe that will help. It's not sweet. It's not, anyway, it was horrible. Moral of the story is everybody start cooking at home because this shit is it's crazy. And I made enchiladas yesterday, so I should have took some, even if I just like munched on it for breakfast or whatever. But running out the door,
Hmm.
oh, why you didn't make it the night before? Why you didn't make it for me? So tonight's topic, we are going to start with um, a nice, hot and spicy topic, but we're first going to talk about all you fraudsters because you going to jail, and then we're going to end with our place that we are from, Nigeria. We want to hear JoJo's story. So that we know how we got here. How did you get here? That's what we'll end.
Right.
That's
So
right.
at the head of this topic, let me tell you guys a story. Want to hear a story? Okay, let me tell you. This is what happened. So I went to pay my rent today, and I could only pay a portion of my rent. Now, you guys know I pay rent all the time. Why I can only pay a portion of my rent. And then you have these fraudsters going in the bank with checks that say $42 million, and they handed them to the teller, and the teller is handing them $42 million. Point though? Mm. They got it all over TikTok. It's a glitch that happened. I don't know if y'all remember. Jojo, you didn't, you're not a part of this. But back in the day, people would write checks all the time. You write the check because you're trying to catch something, right? That was even considered fraud. And so they switched everything over to how they handle things, which is why things like you can't go into a Chase and deposit cash if you don't have an account. You can't cash a check if it's not written on Chase. Navy Federal, you can't pull out a certain amount. All of these things have been put into place because of you people that commit fraud. How y'all walk in that bank? That has to be a glitch. That is a form of a glitch. But my question is how you announce it on TikTok Did nobody find nothing strange about that line that was outside of Chase? All of a
That's
sudden,
what I said. I didn't.
did you see
But
the line?
I didn't know what really happened. I thought they was saying they was just put in a card and
At
like
the
anything
ATM,
like
right?
yeah, and then
Me
the
too.
money would just come out. I didn't know they was doing checks.
Girl, they was doing checks and walking into the bank. They said one girl, a Wells Fargo representative was on from she's an analyst because all the people that try to tell you, well, it's your bad, you did it, and then they got all these other people to do it because they're weak-minded. Yes, that is a form of being weak-minded. It's fraud. You're going to jail. You wrote the check, you walked in the bank, and you pulled out money that you knew wasn't there. How you don't know
I'm
you went
surprised that Chase gave it to them because a lot of times they be having a limit to where if you don't call the day before and all that, they be
right?
I want to say it's over 5,000. They be tripping.
So I just told somebody that because on the business side, and when you move out here, it's $5,000. So that is no amazing amount of money that I needed to pull out. I was doing something and it cost a little bit over that. And so you're right. I went to the teller, and this is my home bank because you also have a home bank, y'all. If you go to your home bank where they have your signature card, your limit is a little bit more. So I went to my home bank. Tellers know me, but they still had to take me out of the line, pull me to the side for a couple reasons. One, they don't want everybody to see what you're getting. They hand it to you in an envelope, but you have to go through these different security measures. And this was during the time that my identity was stolen as well. So I called and had a couple of more things put on my stuff. But that was only a little bit over 5,000. That's not a lot of money in California. So you could do that for a car, a repair. It's a blessing, but it's not a lot of money. It's not a flex. The main point is, how did all of that happen to me? I literally tried to pay my rent today, and my daily limit is not. I could have paid that rent. I've been paying my rent, but you have those controls on me. But these people physically walked in. Y'all see something it's a line, and nothing made you say, hold on right here and go to the back. A lady went and changed her clothes, came back, went to the teller because she got her limit, and they re-gave her more money. Once you hit your limit, that's your daily limit. How did she come back and get more money? So the analyst was like, from Wells Fargo, she like, oh, we already start pulling people's stuff. It's handed over to federal. You can't bring it back. You can't do nothing. It's done. You messed up, and it's going federal. If your money is FDIC insured, what's the F stand for? Federal. Anything over a certain amount is a felony, but you also signed. Y'all going to jail. One man posted his stuff, and it was negative 27,000. Hey, bestie. That's my OG bestie since the second grade. I have a lot of second grade loves. And she beat cancer twice. I love her. And we have
That's
mental. Yes. So what would you guys do? Y'all ever get like you want to do some of this stuff, especially with the COVID stuff? Do y'all ever, at any time during this stuff going on, did you ever be like, I should do that too?
Yeah.
When gas went up to $11, I thought about trying to rob a bank or two.
I'm like, so it's baking soda and then sugar and what else you put in this shit?
Yeah, like when it was COVID and they said that they wasn't putting nobody in jail unless it was a violent crime. Like, oh, this is our time. Come on.
So what kept you from doing it? Because I wanted to ask this question because people sometimes think because you didn't do it, oh, you a goody two shoes. It has nothing to do with being a goody two shoes. It has to do with, yes, I thought about the same things. Yes, that would have changed my life. Yes, it would have made it better. And for some of us, we have real LLCs and real businesses, but we didn't do it. What stopped you from doing it? I mean, obviously, robbing a bank, you probably couldn't do that. But
I thought about robbing a bank. I just didn't know where to start. I didn't know how I was going to do it. And that's probably the only reason why I didn't do it.
It gets hard out here for everybody. That's the truth.
Yeah.
No matter what you make, it can get
I
hard.
mean,
This being scary. I'm not fit to go to jail.
I was scared too.
Yeah.
Real business and all. It just sounded too good to be true. That was one. And then the main trigger for me was, if you guys are doing this and saying you have 10 employees and you don't have 10 employees and you say you pay them this, when it comes time to file your taxes, you then have to account for that again. You now have to say how are you going to get 10 people to say that you gave them money? What did you split some of that money with them? What did you do? Because now they got to claim it on their taxes and you have to produce a person. Well, that's why California extended their time to review your taxes from 7 years to 14. They did that immediately. So, okay. I don't know. I can't. I'm nervous. So,
yeah, I don't think I'll survive in jail. I don't know. I don't think I'll survive.
I won't make it from the point they put the handcuffs on me.
Neither.
From my door. Like, what? Clutching my pearls. It's not for me. No, sir. Now, robbing a bank. Let me tell you a short story real quick. Robbing a bank, all you have to do is, well, don't do it. But this is, you'll go to jail for this too. A girl did it and she didn't know she would get the real time for it. You write what you want on a paper and you just hand it to the teller, and the teller's supposed to do whatever you tell them to do, and they're supposed to let you leave. She didn't think she Googled it, found out how to do it, and then wound up doing time in prison. But she didn't think that it was that she was robbing.
That was that easy.
Yeah, she was like, so she kept doing it. She was like, what crime did I commit? I didn't say nothing.
You wrote it down, girl. She needed to go to jail if she thought that she didn't do nothing wrong.
It's the
She
girl
could say it's a loan.
the new girl.
She could say it's a loan. She was going to bring the money back.
I wonder, does that cover you if you put that on the letter? I need to borrow this. Give me all your 50s.
Give me
somebody
a year, I'll pay back.
You in trouble.
I'm gonna invest this money in crypto, and I'm gonna pay you in a year.
Don't do it, y'all. Don't do it. Don't do none of that.
I'll do it. Matter of fact, I'm gonna try it tomorrow. Shit.
That's what they're doing with our money when we put it in there.
Exactly. That's what they're doing with our money anyway.
That's why they put limits on how much you can get out in there.
Why do I let y'all be on the show together with no backup for myself? Why do I do this on an empty stomach?
Like, that is exactly what they do to us. Please.
I'm with you, Ro. That's exactly what they do to us.
Ro, how much percentage are you Nigerian?
Oh, let me look. I think it was like 48.
Might as well be. Hey, my sister.
So,
for you.
I just want to point out that the ones that are okay with fraud have the most Nigerian in them. I only got 26%.
Girl, that's why I can't talk about them no more.
Ro was so anti-Nigerian. Y'all gotta go back.
She really can't. She really cannot. I remember my first conversation with Ro, how Ro talked to me when we first spoke, and how Ro is now. Imagine being saved by the Lord. That's exactly what happened to Ro.
You should have seen it though. You should have seen when she announced it. All of us was in the comments, like the family and whatnot. We in the comments like, oh, really?
The main people you talk about. I'm 49.1%.
Might as well be 50. Might as well.
Right. Don't do that.
Might as well.
Don't do that.
Might as well call it 50.
I was too through. I was like, oh my God.
So let me share with what mine were. I think I did, but just in case, it was a while ago. So mine was, I have to play it because I don't remember the numbers. Hold on 1 second. I'm gonna play it. I was from Sierra Leone, 26% Nigerian. I'm
18,
well
18%.
balanced. You see, I'm well balanced. They
Girl.
commit fraud.
All right, hit with them. So
Okay. Okay. Let's play the first clip.
Ro doesn't know if she should be happy or sad.
No, we're happy. That would be
I didn't
new.
know what to think.
I just want a loan. Exactly. That would be so new. If anybody does that as a result of this show, we are not responsible for your actions. We do not
We're not. I was just kidding. I was just joking.
You probably ain't just kidding, but baby, listen, that's your business, okay? That's your business, Bonnie and Clyde. So you're a quarter. Yes, I'm a quarter. I'm a quarter. I am 75% Black and 25% Caucasian. Let's see. Okay, so let's play the first clip and then we gonna talk shit. Y'all ready? JoJo.
What is it?
And Ro. Only and talk about the clip I play.
You know what this means? Ro, this means pretty soon we're going to have our own show, just you and I, under her. We are going to have our own show, just you and I.
No.
That's probably
when I be on your show,
what that means.
Don't I follow the rules, Rose? I be on her. Was she ready to talk her shit? I pop my shit on her shit. We got to balance it out a little bit. We twins. Here we go. Here's the clip.
When a man tells you his marriage is miserable, ask him these questions. Do you watch porn? Do you masturbate? Do you smoke weed? Do you get drunk? Do you go to the strip club? Do you gamble? That's why your marriage sucks. A woman wants security. She wants trust. She wants honesty. She wants responsibility. She wants a man who her daughter can look up to and who her son can look up to. Guys hate marriage because they hate themselves. And as a married man, what's blocking single men is your preferences. She's not gonna look how she looks here. She's gonna be a few notches under that. And then the love, the protection, the provision is gonna bring her to the level that you envision. The longer you single, the more grandiose the vision gets, or you become less likely to compromise.
So when we think about men being married and being successful, men only. I don't want any rebuttals about women, what they do, because we take care of them on their own show. This one is about men. Do you think that those things are true? Or they can be true?
well, I ain't a man, so JoJo.
Will you date them? Do you think that is true? Does it have an impact on you while you're dating them?
I think so. I think everything he said was true.
I agree. I don't think that those things alone are, but I think what he meant more of was, are you excessive with those things? Have those things taken over your life and and changed the way that you view life? I think that they can, all of those things, because those are fast-paced, racy things. True on compromising, yeah. And I also believe the longer that we sit single, it does contribute while we get further away from marriage in some cases, because you get used to doing things your way, how you want to. I think that's why back in the day they married a lot younger too, because you were supposed to grow up together. I think so. What do you think, JoJo?
Yeah, I mean, I would have to say, and I think I've always said this, when the man is busy, and I guess the right way to say this is, if a man is busy doing the right things, if a man always keeps his mind occupied by the right things, he's not doing anything to jeopardize himself or the relationships he's in. Porn, video game in excess, yeah, like anything else in excess. Work in excess, things like that. Going to the gym in excess. So it's all about fun. I think he's right. I think he's right. If a man's mind and time is occupied by things that are not quote unquote productive, then it's not going to work. If that man is doing these things in his own private time,
Right.
I don't see what the problem is. But again, I think you hit it right on the nail there. If it's in excess, if it starts to take over time that you're supposed to put back towards your family, quality time with your wife, quality time with your kids, then obviously your relationship would not be good.
I agree. I agree. I think it could be a balance, like anything else. I'm with you. I also believe that it starts to change your vision and make things real that are not real. It makes you lust for those things, yearn for those things. That's why things in excess are not good. And all of those things are gluttony. Gluttony is not just food. Gluttony is anything that you do that you should not do. And I really love that you brought up work, actually, because I don't think a lot of men realize that. Women these days, too. Another topic. Sorry. Men, I don't think that they realize that now it can be more of a balance, right? Because you do have a woman that works and contributes to the home. You don't have to work yourself to the bone, pick up all the overtime, and do those things. On some days, you should say no so that you can get home to your family and have time with your family. If they ask you to work your off days, things like that, I don't think enough men around me are making that balance well because they want to be successful, but you also want to have a successful family. And I've seen some turnover to now being like a little upset that they missed the younger years, they missed certain events. And it's taken a toll on them now that they're in their 40s and 50s. I never understood porn if you're married.
I can
Some
explain that.
people
I
watch
can
it to
explain
get
that.
ideas.
I can explain that.
Which
If you
one?
want me to, I can explain that.
No, not your way. No. That's my mom. I'll talk to her later. Say something on my mom, I'm gonna be on my way. Okay.
Okay.
No, but to answer your question, Mom, some people watch it to get ideas, right? They don't to get ideas. It's not so much that is turning them on. They're watching it to learn. Kind of like I prefer to watch. I'll go to a female strip club before I go to a male strip club. Why? Because I'm her. So what she's doing, I'll be looking like I could do that and break my neck. That's why. They're tutorials, if you will. Not all are like way out there, but some couples do
I
watch
was say I rather watch a love making
it. Yeah,
movie than porn.
I
Porn
would.
looks so fake to me. Like it don't
Of
look
course you would.
It looks
Of
so
course
like
you
it
would.
looks fake. It don't look
it don't look
real.
like the girl be having like she really be
Mm-mm,
enjoying it or nothing. It look fake.
mm-mm. It don't. And it's
Who,
no,
who said we're looking for real? Who said
huh?
that's what we're looking for?
Well, I don't
But
understand what
I
you're
am.
looking
If
for.
I would watch
Yeah,
it, that's
you
what I would look
I'll
for.
tell you. If you want the man's perspective, I'll tell you.
But it needs to be both. So it needs to be a balance. Like that's why I'm saying would I do that with would I watch it with somebody because that's what he wanted to watch? Yeah, but I would also expect him to watch, to Rose point, um like a movie where it's all about love and those things because that's something that I like. So is it a balance? I do believe it's a balance. I do. What are
I,
you?
I,
Just don't ask me to be interested.
I will watch Monsters Ball with you. No problem. No problem. I will watch Monsters Ball with you. But I don't want to wait 45 minutes before that action. And number two, we like the idea of it's right there, it's instant. I'm there, she knows why she's there, she want it, I want it, let's get it on. I don't want to wait
That's all I'm
45
saying.
minutes for that.
Mine are so much different than ours.
That's
Like,
why
we
you
don't,
almost got tased in your own house because
Yeah.
you
we don't
take
even
your time. You
understand.
don't listen to us. Take your time so we don't have to come over there and beat nobody up. I'm trying to tell you. And yes, Ro, what we said, we're different. We're very different.
Yeah, because
That's
we
why
don't even
compromise is such a big word because we are different. We are different and we're doing it for different reasons. That's why I agree with compromising. Will I do things that I don't particularly like? I will, but I'm also the type of person that can do things that I don't like as long as it doesn't compromise my values. And I would like that he likes it. Kind of like when you like that your kid is excited. You don't give a damn about no bubbles, but because your kid loves bubbles, you will love bubbles. When you with the right person, those things will happen. And it's not an uncomfortable compromise. And you don't complain none of the time. You don't do none of those things. I don't think it's nothing wrong with compromising. I think it's actually
I, I don't see compromising that way. I don't have to like it. I'm not gonna grimace while I'm doing it for you. But do I have to like it, or will I end up liking it? No, I'll do it
I
because I'd
literally
like to
just
see you
said the
smile.
same thing. And you said
Oh,
you don't.
I thought I heard you say I want him to want it too. I thought that's what I heard you say.
No, I said you don't have to want it to. Like,
Okay, okay.
yeah, if it's something that he wants, that's why I was saying like the proper way to do it. Because some girls will do things and they don't like it, and it shows all over their face and whatnot.
Mhm,
Then you're not really doing. You're making it uncomfortable for the person, and vice versa. I would
mhm.
do. That's why I said I would do things that I'm okay with. I don't hate it. It doesn't compromise my morals, and I would be in the moment because he's in the moment. I would focus on the other person and what they're getting out of it. Then it brings you that happiness, if you will, but it still don't mean you like it, but you're doing it like that kind of compromise. That's what I was
That's
saying.
right.
Don't,
That's
yeah.
right. And I think men should do that for their women too. That's great.
Hmm. Okay.
That's great. So
Next.
if you want to
Oh,
watch
sorry.
Monsters Ball, watch it with her.
I don't even watch Monsters.
I was about to say,
Well,
I ain't never
I've
even watched
never seen it.
I'll watch Monsters Ball with you, Rose. I would.
I like Poetic
I don't
Justice.
want to
That's
watch
my
Monsters
romantic movie.
Ball.
I thought you said you wanted love making. Oh my goodness.
We didn't say that movie.
Well, we didn't say that
Okay,
movie.
which one? Which one? Which one?
I'm done.
Give me one. Give me one.
I'll just say it when I think about it. I gotta think.
Okay, we'll get back to you. Give us a minute. Okay.
Can you is it possible to ask anyone in the comments if they can recommend something like that I could watch? Because I know there's a lot of movies that I haven't watched out here. So if they have any movies like that I can watch, please make some recommendations.
Love Jones. That's a
Look,
classic.
I promise I was going to say that one.
I will write it on my list. Love Jones. Okay.
I'm trying. I
Is
have
the
to
sex
think
scene
of
good in it or no? Is it good? Is it hot? Is it real hot?
It
It's
is.
a romantic
It's
movie.
a romantic movie.
Who's in it?
Nia
Lorenz
Long and
Tate.
Nia Long and Lorenz
Me
Tate.
alone? Oh hell yeah! Let's go.
Something wrong with you. We need to send you an American black list of movies that you
I
Yeah.
need
because they were
everything.
all from before you got here that we really
Yeah,
love.
that's
Yeah,
right.
we
That's
do.
right.
It's some really good ones, like for real. Okay, next clip.
I think also it's easy to fear marriage because we've made it a personal goal and not a God ordained thing. When you talking about like matrimony, when you talking about my assigned partner, ain't to be afraid of. You know what I'm saying? Like, are there gonna be moments where we have our tough times and things like that? Of course, but I was covered before you got here. This is much larger than me. There's a much larger assignment that our parent is supposed to complete. You feel me? So when we talking about be scared because they want to get married for the status symbol. And so when you start to have rocky times in a marriage that you got for status, y'all don't look that good. And I'm afraid to be out here married and going through it.
So Jojo, when you got married, were you afraid to get married, or were you happy to be a husband? Not to have a wife, but to be a husband.
I was happy to be a husband. For me, my upbringing, it's almost like a calling. Um, you're kind of groomed from a young age. You kind of understand very clearly. Your father lets you understand either directly or indirectly. Your mother, your environment lets you understand very clearly. When you grow up, I'm no longer gonna be there. You're gonna have to be responsible. Family comes first. You're gonna have to pay some bills. You're gonna have to be present for your wife, for your
Mhm.
kids. You're gonna have to choose your wife over your kids because your kids they grow up and they leave. So make sure you nurture the relationship with your wife because when the kids leave, that's who's gonna be there with you. So all of that, all of those teachings, all of those um, things that you learn, there are some people who look forward to it once the time comes. So that's something that I look forward to. Just like how kids look forward to being 18. Oh, like, oh yeah, I can't wait to be 18. You know, I'm gonna get my driver license, I'm gonna start smoking, I'm gonna start drinking, going out partying. I look forward to it like that. So um, it wasn't so much religious based, cultural, but I understand when you submit yourself to something bigger than you kind of understand that there are people or things that you can't let down. So it's no longer about yourself. So that mindset helps, especially with days where you really don't feel like doing it. But I think it's right. And yeah, for me, there's something that I look forward to. Unfortunately, it did not work out the first time. Um, but I would want to do it again. My personal reason for marriage is because I think it's unfair that if I'm with someone for so many years, for so long, and they've contributed to everything that I enjoyed, and for whatever reason, I'm no longer there, I think it's unfair that that person has to struggle because I'm no longer there. So that's my personal reason. I mean, other people have other reasons, some practical, some more spiritual. But for me, it's like, I think it's unfair that someone spent all that time with you, gave you children, made a house a home, and God forbid something happens to you. You have to be, they would have to be able to leave past the time that you're no longer there. And I think marriage is one way to do it.
I love it. Ro, what about you? Are you excited to be married still? You are? Why are you excited to be married?
Because I live in a fairy tale world.
You live
Oh,
in a fairy tale world, or we are
okay.
believing in God for those things He promised?
Yes, I still believe in marriage and stuff and being married. Like it don't matter what I went through. I always said I want to be somebody's wife. Like I'm still excited to get married.
Hmm. I think that's great. Did you do the things? Are you preparing yourself to be a wife?
Yeah, and I said in my prayers, like from like what the other man has said, like when you get a certain age, just think I'm 44 years old. I'm getting up there, so I'm mid age, and I feel like he said, that is true. A lot of us be stuck in our ways. But I think that I am more willing to compromise, but it would have to be the right person that I feel like is worth compromising for. And my husband is somebody that I'm married. That would be somebody I would want to compromise for. So I always say in my prayers, like to make sure that I'm the perfect wife for my husband. Like I'm everything that he wanted in a wife. So help me to be that and like see things different. I always say that in my prayers. And then even when I pray for what kind of husband I want. Like, I don't know where you at, husband, but I said a prayer for you.
I actually pray that way too. I actually pray that way too.
Yeah.
I pray over marriage, period. But I also pray that I'm a good wife and that
Yeah.
I continue to honor and do the things that I'm supposed to do. But something that, and not but, something that he said stood out, and then something that JoJo said stood out as well. Um, when you get married and you really feel like it's the right person, anything can happen. You can still get a divorce. All those things can happen. We know that. But when you are going to stand before God, for me, it was a higher feeling. Like, because you could just keep dating and doing whatever you want to do. So if I'm taking this step to get
Yeah.
married, I didn't have any fear. I didn't have anything but excitement. And it sounds weird, but I was like, now I have somebody to life with. Because if I'm going through things on my own, of course you're still gonna go through things. So I was like, well, at least when I go through something, I have somebody to bounce it off of, somebody to help where I'm strong. They pick up. Like when you feel like you're equally yoked, I finally felt like I could rest. Like I don't need to worry about these things anymore because I'm picking a partner that's strong in this and I'm strong in this. It should be great. And even going through things, it should be great. But I still pray every night to be a good person. But once I got married, I moved to the top, a good wife, because I've always honored God higher than my husband, if that makes sense. So when I do things in my marriage, I do them thinking about God. I don't know why I feel like he can see me. And I'm like, well, I mean, he
He can
can,
see
but
you. He can
you know
look.
what
He
I
can.
mean? Some people don't feel convicted in that way. I do. It's, bro, we've had plenty of conversations and I'd be like, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing this. Apologize for that. But it's for the marriage. It's because I made a commitment. You know
And
what I
you know,
mean?
that's what I be big on that. I'll be like, just when once somebody get married, I just always feel like you got married to that person for a reason. So don't just throw it away. Like at least try canceling and all that. Like I hate that our generation, as soon as somebody get in a fight, they just throw their marriage away. They don't even try to fight for their marriages. Look at Judge Joe Mathis. TMZ, he was like, he fighting for his marriage.
He
He ain't
fighting
about
for
to
his
let
marriage.
39 years go down the drain. He was like, he fighting for his wife. And I feel like once you get married, that's what you're supposed to do if you
Absolutely.
marry the right person. A lot of people don't get married for the right reasons anymore. So it's easy for you to just throw away your marriage. But if you really with the person you're supposed to be with, it's not going to be easy. I always talk to older couples. If I see them, like with being a nurse, you know, you see people all the time. And when I see older people, I always be like, oh, how long have you guys been married or whatever? I think the oldest one, they said they was like 60 something years they have been married. And I
Like
was
my
like, oh my God, they was so cute. He was holding her purse. That's what made me stop them. Cause I'm like, don't nobody do that no more. He was holding her purse. That was just so cute. And I was like, how long have you guys been married? They was like, it was probably there like 59 years. It was gonna be 60. And I was like, well, what is the secret? Like, you have to let me know. And he was like, well, the woman is always right. And I was like, okay, and then what? And then it was like, no, really, this is the most hardest relationship you will ever have in your life. Like, you have to, this is a relationship you're going to have to work with all the time. It's the hardest thing. And he was like, but it's worth having. He was like, and we've been together for almost 60 years. And they genuinely looked happy. They were so cute. It was like this little white little couple. They was so cute. You know me. I'm like, can I take y'all? I'm like, can I take y'all a picture?
That is so sweet.
They were so cute. I was like, oh my gosh. And I say that too with our generation. I was like, it ain't nobody that I know that we gonna say when we get old like that. Like, oh, I've been together for 60 years.
Bucky and Deandra.
Yeah, they the only ones, I think.
Andrea and her husband. Tanera and her husband.
Well, it's far and few. It's we could count on our hand.
Yeah,
It ain't how
I
it
could
was.
definitely count on both my hands. I definitely can.
I can't.
In our generation, my elders, all of them, they're married. But yeah, I
In our
agree.
generation,
But
but
it's
I
for the
just feel
reason they
like
said
it's
it,
not
bro.
it's huh?
It's for the reason that the man said, though. It's
Yeah, it
because
is.
you didn't marry for love.
You
You
didn't.
married for what it looked like on paper. And now when that gets taken away, or you married her for her bomb ass body and now she's fat, or you married him because he had a status and now that status is out of date, nobody cares, or he lost his job, or he don't serve no more, or he don't have the money he had, or he don't spend it the same way, or y'all have kids and now it's not just about y'all. It's not it. That's not cute no more. We not the flyest couple. We not this. Are you serious? That's what you did that for? So no, you can't hang in there with a person that you don't love. They get on your nerves. You don't like them. It's sad.
Yep.
But you shouldn't date that way either. That's why you're supposed to date quick. If you date somebody and you sit down at that table with them that first day and it's nothing there, thank them for coming and let it go. But people don't also want to be alone. They want to be with somebody. They trying to make, it's people out there right now trying to make it to Christmas so they can have matching damn pajamas. And sadly, that's
matching pajamas to take a picture just to act like y'all in love and y'all hate each other.
No, but I don't
even
want
know
to be
each other.
alone too, though. You're right about that. You are right. Hey, Ro, in your prayers, the husband you're asking for, is he half Nigerian?
I don't know what race he is. He could be. Let me
At this
not
point.
look. I was about to say, let me not say race things. When people be saying I'm saying race names wrong, I don't care what race he is. I'm not saying I'm not being choosy, but I would literally keep my options open. Now I'm not just saying like they got to be a black man.
I think that's good. Okay, last clip, and then we're going to get into it with JoJo and find out how you be here. We want to know. Hold on, here we go.
The whole men having a fear of commitment, sometimes we got to be honest. It's not a fear of commitment, it's that you're not really into that woman like that. Because you'll see situations where a man could even be in a relationship with one woman 5 years, talking about, I don't believe in marriage. Finally, they break up. 6 months later, he's engaged to somebody else. It's the fact that he did not really feel she was the one. But unfortunately, a lot of men rationalize why they still should be with this woman, give it a try, or she possesses things that he could use in the moment, so he holds on to that. Now, also, the fear of breaking up or walking away is also because men tend to have less of a support system outside their relationships. Like, women more likely have friends, have family. I speak to a lot of men who feel like, I can't leave her because I got no one else. And so they feel, I hate to use the word trapped, but they just don't feel like they can go anywhere else, but it doesn't get talked about a lot. So you'll see a lot of men who, and then if we're talking about marriage, there's the whole fear of splitting half the money, all this stuff. Even though you got some dudes who ain't even got money, worried about losing half the money.
I'm about to say, so what's 17 divided by 2?
But it's a conversation that happens over and over and over again. All that to say, I think a man has to be honest with himself about, one, do you want something serious in your life? Do you want a committed relationship? If this woman is not really it, don't waste her time. Don't waste her time, don't waste your time.
I like to let those play so the TikToker gets credit for what they did. So what are your feelings on that clip?
They're not gonna do that. That's my whole feelings. They are not gonna do that. That's just too much like right.
Rose is not optimistic at all. I don't know how we finna get her to the aisle.
No.
Rose said y'all can't do it. That's her final answer.
I don't think so, because that's just, it's too much like right. Men are super selfish. They know, just like how they be saying women know in a few minutes if they want to be with a man or something. A man know that too. It don't take them all them years to know. They know that they don't want to be with that woman. They just holding them there until they find a person they really want to be with.
A placeholder.
That's exactly what they doing.
I agree.
I'm not saying that doesn't happen, but my personal belief, it's only an opinion, this is not a fact. My personal belief is that I don't believe that that is the majority of those situations. How I know this? Because there is another interpretation out there. There is a guy who's with a girl right now who they've been together 5 years, and he wants to take that leap of faith with this girl. And he told the girl, whether directly, indirectly, in conversations, in arguments, stop being jealous is the one thing that you do that I don't like. Stop being bad with money is the one thing that I'm asking you to change that I don't like, or whatever else it could be. And she's not doing it. And he's hoping. I'm not done.
Let
2
me
years,
tell you
3
something.
years, 4 years,
He
5
ain't
years.
gonna change. You can't change
lady,
somebody,
I'm
JoJo.
asking you.
But this is going back to the first thing. We don't have time to go down the wrong path. The first thing was that choose the right person. And you're saying it's not true. And the example you're giving is validating what he said. If you told this girl, I want to be with you, but do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I will be with you, baby, that's not your person. because you're trying to change them. Those things are not going to change. So you're validating what he's saying. And we all do it. We want to be with somebody because they don't do these things.
Here's why I disagree. I disagree because I have seen marriage.
But you're validating what he said. Please let it be something different. Because the example you just gave, you literally validate. You can bring on you. Yes, you did. Bro, is that not validation? If you want to change the person and you give them a list, first of all, who are you to give somebody a list on what to change to be with you? If you've been together 5 years and that's who they are, that's who they're going to be and move on. You can't do that to somebody, JoJo. That's not a match.
Wait. If I was in a relationship with someone who told me, I need you to be more patient, and I wasn't for 3 years, and then in the next 2 years, I realized patience is a good thing to have, and I need to exercise that more, and our relationship ends up benefiting from that. Isn't that the ideal scenario?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm saying it can happen, which is why well, if we can be really honest, if we can be really honest, I think that coupled with what I just said, I think the reality is that a lot of men are in relationships because they know what they've invested. They just don't want to let it go like that.
Exactly. But that's why it's not your person. We've all done it, which is why we got married much later. Well, for me, I got married much later because you do that. Because it's so many things about that person that you love, but it's some things that get on your nerves. And you can do two things. You can either go to therapy and figure out why that bothers you. Why does it bother you so much? And is it that big of a deal to you? Because that person's not going to change. You know, and you got married here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Marriage. Did you guys do marriage counseling?
No.
Oh, okay. One of the first things they tell you in marriage counseling is, do you want to marry this person the way they are today? If everything stayed the same as it is today, do you love that person? That's what you need to base it off of, not what they will do in a couple years. You know, we need to stop doing that because we're also putting pressure on other people and we get insecurities from that. A lot of things that was said to me, I took it to heart and I didn't. My education was one of them. I was literally told, I cannot marry you if you don't have an education. I was back in school so damn fast, but that's not fair. That's not what I wanted to do at that time. It's not. And I think that if we keep thinking about things in the root of the problem and the success rate and all the things that can happen with it, okay, she changed it for you to marry her. Now she tricked you. She tried it.
Well, you always hope
so let's not. But I think she's wrong.
You would always hope that the changes. Like for example, in a personal case of mine, I was with someone for 5 years. We broke up in 2015, and my now ex-wife, we met a year later, and I'm married within 6 months. That woman that I left after 5 years, that was it. It was get better with your finances and because at that point she was becoming a liability for me, and she was extremely jealous at the time, and so she ended up being married and had changed these things for that husband.
Good.
So maybe I wasn't the one to do. Yeah, but her and I spoke because we still had some business that made us have to speak, but we kind of spoke about her marriage, and what she's saying is her husband is doing to her what she was doing to me, which is in how she realized, okay, now I get what you were saying about being better with money and then, you know, not being so hopped on, not looking for evil everywhere as far as like being jealous or envious and so on and so forth. So she's developed those things. Now her husband's doing it to her, you know? So then obviously we're no longer together, but I could have simply said, but if I told you to do these things for me, you know, you would wish that it wouldn't take that for someone to learn the lesson, but that's all I'll say.
Sometimes it does. Sometimes it does take that hard brick that you run into, because as her husband, she should have listened to you. Now, I don't know what occurred. Just it may not have been said the right way. It may not have been no consequences. You may have kept saving her from whatever, you know what it's like. Let's just say, I don't know
I
what
did
happened,
I
that she
did
was
that.
maxing out, you know, so
I
we
did that.
sometimes baby that situation or coddle it or try to correct it through love. And sometimes, especially the younger we are, we're actually making it worse. We become a what do they call it? Oh my God, an enabler. And then the next person comes in and it happens and it's like, whoa. But maybe if you would have let her run into that brick wall, she would have whoa a lot faster. But we don't know no better. So
And let the whole ship sink though. Well, that's what an enabler would say, I guess. You know?
yeah, yeah, we do. We do. But it's true. And it's all love. It's no, I don't think anybody intentionally wakes up and says, I don't want to love the person that I married. I don't want to do this. You really do try to see the good, but we have to start learning about ourselves more so we can make better decisions. And it sounds like she is. And I don't want it ever to end up where the only way you learn was through something bad. But some people, and we can't do nothing about it. And those are the people we coddle the most. It's crazy. Those are the people we coddle the most. Do I think men will change? Like Rose said, I think that people that do the work, go to therapy or whatever they need to do to start doing the work and looking in the mirror, I think things will change. Because the biggest part is, sir, you're not just doing that to her, you're doing it to yourself too. You wasted your time. You wasted your efforts. Like JoJo said, why would you want to give up your investment? That makes no sense. Your home, what you built, and now you got to start over. Who will really want to do that? I don't think anybody really does. And I think more men would get support if they were honest with each other.
Right.
Like, I really do love her. Then people could support you, but they can't, because a lot of the times act like it's no big deal, or let's just keep it a buck. You be the one that cheated. So they be like, how am I supposed to feel sorry for you because the girl left you?
Yeah, I'm not trying to learn anyone else's favorite color or food. I'm not trying to.
You over it?
I'm not trying to learn your shoe size. I'm not trying to learn.
Your favorite Sarah. You done learn how to deal with this woman through PMS, her mood swings, her bonnet, her transition from one hairstyle to another. Right. And you want to switch? Y'all the ones that's crazy. I think the man is crazy. Y'all have more to adapt to than, especially as the head and protector. You got to pay attention to everything, because part of protecting is the heart. So you do, to your point, need to know the color, the drink. Bring a woman the wrong food and she gonna start crying. So y'all make the biggest investment. So I would make a better investment. It's for y'all, to me. So,
if she send you to Starbucks and you got the order wrong, I'm not trying to learn no one else's order from Starbucks.
I have cried before because my food was wrong, because I was starving. And this what you showed her?
Yeah, I don't want to be responsible for that.
Look, I'm like, be throwing your food, what's her name on Color Purple?
like Sugar, correct.
Like Sugar reaching through that food.
Baby, it's not your person. For your person, listen. For your person, you will do things you never thought you could do before.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. For a person,
take things from yourself, and it won't be nothing. You'll give until you have nothing else to give, and it will be nothing. Because
I don't think it's that simple. I just think some people are just stubborn, and they just need to not be stubborn. If I say it's not my person, and I leave her, okay. If I'm with someone that is simply too stubborn to change,
you didn't know she was stubborn before you married?
Yeah, but I don't think because if the solution is that's not your person, to me, it inadvertently supports what we spoke about earlier, which is to leave, but it shouldn't be that easy to leave.
No,
I guess there's
that's not what she's saying. That's not what she's saying. She's saying the same thing that we said. Like, if you're trying to change a person, that's not your person. That's what she's saying, which we both said earlier. Yeah.
All right.
No. Because you won't even get into the marriage. If you identify the things at the beginning, you won't get into
Yeah.
that sounds
Yeah.
like you suffocate each other, then it's not your person. If it's your person, you want to be with them. Just like you want to be with your friends, you want to be with your kids, you want to be with your family, you'll want to be with that person. And you'll give each other the adequate amount of time to also be yourself. But for that clingy person, I saw a man on TikTok today saying, I've been doing it all wrong. I need to admit something. I love clingy women. I need a clingy woman. But what was you doing? Probably complaining because your homeboys was complaining. You really wanted that. Be honest with yourself. Man, you have to show your emotions for people to actually see them. We can't guess them. But Jojo, tell us how you got here. What was going on in Africa when you came?
Okay, well, well, so I lived in a country called the Ivory Coast. The Ivory Coast is a former French colony. They got their independence in 1960. And between 1960 and the 1990s, there was only one president. That president was there for 30 years.
Oh, wow.
The Constitution only allows 5-year terms. He was able to extend that 6 times. You understand that there are people that make shady deals in order to be able to stay that long.
Oh,
And it won't be without the contribution or the help, whether direct or indirect or subtle, from the former colonies, because the former colonies gain um, from the rulership to still serve their interest even from afar.
oh,
And there are some people who, after a while, decided that was not what they were going to do. So there was a coup d'etat in 1997, and then another one in 1999 or 2000, I believe, and then another one in 2002. The one in 2002 is the one that caused me to come to the U.S. a year later after high school.
okay.
And during that time, if you ever known about coups, when you want to take over a country, you really don't have to take over the country in its entirety of the territory, only main places. So
Oh,
the main city, so that would be either New York, LA,
okay.
things like DC, so on and so forth. Major strategic places, the military, and that's it. The rest of the country, you don't even have to go, because they're just living their lives, and whoever is the head of the country, it really doesn't matter. And so certain friendships that my father through the years have had working with the American embassy, and extended family, not him per se, but extended family who have had friendships and alliances that were antagonists to the people in power at the time, made it so that family and friends were in danger, because you never know who can be kidnapped, assaulted, so on and so forth. So the combination of all those things made it so that my father took us out of the country. I left in 2003. I went to Benin. I was there for a year, and then came to the United States. Well, went back home briefly, and then came to the United States in 2004. My family came about a year later. My sister came a year later. My other sister came a year after that. And then my father, my mother, and my youngest brother, with the help of the American Embassy, came in 2007. So that's the journey to come here.
So your whole family is here now.
Yes.
Oh, that's
Everybody,
nice.
everybody's here now. In 2000, it was the worst of it, because by then, in 2002. In 2002, it was the worst of it, because by then, the tension between the locals and the forces that were encouraged or supported by the French government. You guys might not know this, but it's kind of what's happening here between Russia and what's that country they're fighting against? Whoever Russia is fighting against. So you have these alliances where the dominant group is kind of helping whoever they want because of their interests they have there. So French people have interest in Ivory Coast because Ivory Coast is the #1 exporter of coffee and cocoa. And for people who don't know, France, Belgium are among the top in making pastry. So anything that has to do with chocolate, so on and so forth. And so they get it from us. And so they have special interest in making sure the person who is the president of the country has their interest. So simple example, if a pound of cocoa is 5 cents in the international market, France wants to make sure they get it for a lot less than that.
Oh.
So whoever is in power in the country needs to make sure that I protect my interests because I do business with them in this way. And we still sell it in the international market at 5 cents a pound, but we're not making any profit because we sold it to France first. If we take our own products and want to sell it in the international market, the profits come to us. France doesn't want that. So France has all of the interest in making sure the person in power serves their French interest first. And there are some people who are willing to do that to destabilize the country. So because of that war, it got to its highest point in 2002 where it was, like I said, all right, civil war, tanks, planes. I mean, school was suspended for a year, which is why I went to another country to finish school. Actually, my entire family, myself, my sisters, everybody, we went to another country to finish school. And that's where I got my, that's where I finished high school and then came to the States.
So I have a question. I've heard of them actually stopping school because the war got so bad. Does that mean that they don't want the kids to go for safety purposes? They want all you guys to stay closer to your homes? Or do that mean that somebody might go in there and do something to the kids?
It's all of the above. So you don't want the kids to be hurt. Obviously, the kids are being instructed by staff. You also want the staff to be safe. You also don't want all these kids put in a situation where if someone comes in and holds them hostage, now we have a situation that has escalated exponentially. So what you want to do is keep everybody home, keep everybody safe. And since our infrastructure, unfortunately, is not as developed as developed countries, we don't yet have the online system, school from home, and things of that nature. We don't have that. So, or let me say, a lot of places did not have that 20 years ago. Things may have changed now, but then we did not have that. So, if you've spent more than 3 months home, then the school will be deemed, because our school is 9 months long. 1/3 of the school year gone, then yeah, that means you're not going to be able to declare that school as a full school year. Yeah.
So how come during war women get violated? What does that have to do with war? I don't understand.
Well, so it's a pretty simple, perhaps maybe archaic way of thinking, but it's very simple. When you're a man with your family, your wife is the one that helps you with all the things that you cannot do, and she has value in your in your household. And if someone wants to threaten you, then they go after you. But if they know that they cannot take you on directly, then they go after the people that you care for, especially the weaker ones physically. I'm talking about physically weaker, for the women and the children, especially that, like I said, they have value to you. in our lives, tangible value, because they actually do work. They may not work on the field, but they're selling your crops at the market, caring for the kids, so on and so forth. So that's value. And obviously, if you're any man who had cared for anyone other than yourself, if someone came after them, it's an old-fashioned way of making someone have to surrender. If you cannot go out, if you feel that you cannot go after them physically, you go after their loved ones or weaker ones in order for the alpha to surrender. So that's a tactic older than it's an old thing that people have been doing for a very long time.
Bro, do you have a question?
I'm just listening though, because I really didn't know none of this stuff.
How come wars last so long in Africa, and how come they fight against each other? Why are we fighting against each other there? Just keep your land and everybody just be peaceful. Why can't that happen?
Well, it could be for many different reasons. So it could be that one person is speaking for the group, or the group may not feel a particular way, but they're so busy worrying about where I'm gonna get my next meal from. So they really aren't worried what the leader or the ruler of the group is doing. So if that person is speaking on their behalf, saying or doing things that are not good for the group, then perhaps that's one way where they have infighting. What you're speaking of is infighting. If I'm the leader of a group and I believe that for whatever reason we need more land and we should go and fight and get more land from somewhere else, that's going to be very, very difficult to get the it's going to be very difficult to change them, especially if, I guess I should be given the context. When the colonizers came to our countries, the way they carved out the place, they carved out Africa without thinking about these things. So if I'm someone from Belgium who came and said, I want to carve out this place, I want it to be 5 miles to the left and 5 miles to the right and 3 miles north. And then you just go ahead and carve out. Well, the lines you made, you don't understand. If you carved out the land and you drew a line in the middle of a village, and one side belonged to one person and the other side belonged to so on and so forth, and then after 1960 you leave, well, you're no longer here. Well, what are we doing with this land? Because this person that was here left and this was part of my land, and the other person is saying, well, no, he carved it out, it's us now. And here comes the conflict per se. So that's one way that it can be fueled. Now, if the French people come back and say, well, we carved out this place and we know that this land has oil under the soil. So we're going to fund you to fight this war to take over the land from the other people.
Oh.
Because you're more sympathetic to us. Yes, we carved the land that caused the drama, but the line is here now. We want you to take it back from them, so we will fund you or we will help you get the land. And when you get the land, once you obtain it, the oil under the ground, do business with us. We want it. And it fuels the conflict in that way.
Well, I guess it's no damn blueprint in certain spaces that says this belongs to this person and here's how we've identified it.
Mm-hmm.
Go figure. You the person that remembers when that happened and you've been sitting there waiting for that person to leave. And now that you waiting to take your shit back, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
My question would be why you didn't fight to begin with, or did you fight and lose? Could you fight and lose and then they come back and fight you again?
Absolutely. If someone felt that the issue died down 3 generations ago, and a new person comes in and says, "Fuck that! No, I want myself back for my family. I want to reclaim my family's heritage." Hey, if I have the resources, I'll go again, and it never ends.
That's why it's always war. So why haven't nobody thought of a way to somehow mark everything from the way it is today and adopt some of the principles that other countries have to make that land theirs, make it identifiable, do something to make these things stop happening?
Well, I would say this: the way things were before the colonizers came, I think if the land belonged to someone in the past, I think innately they have a right to ask for it back.
Agreed.
They have the right to ask for it. I don't know how they're going to get it. I don't know. I certainly wouldn't want them to want to do it through violence.
Right.
But if they feel that this is what they have to do to gain their stuff back, I mean, there are some people who that land makes a difference. In my example earlier, where if I fight for that land back and I end up getting it back, in their opinion, if I get that land back and that land has oil under the soil, all of a sudden my country produces oil now. My country could be better off. And that can change a lot of lives for a lot of people, assuming the people who are going to do this are going to do this for their people. And so they have the right. For other people, it's a more simpler example. For some people, it's the right to have access to water. And it makes a very big difference between being able to have your own water as opposed to having your water come from somewhere else.
You mean like a well?
Like a river, a lake.
Oh, even being closer to the body of water. Oh,
Water, so you can have access to. It could be a dam. You know, if it's any kind of waterfall system, if you think about it, leveraged well, that's energy right there. You know, so in some places, the source of the issue can be something as simple as that.
Damn. It's a whole big difference when somebody is literally doing something to survive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and obviously, if and in that person's mind, they don't care where the help comes from. If it comes from France and France is going to help them, you know,
I could never in those situations. I could
Yeah.
never in those situations. I think the more that you research some of this stuff, and now with YouTube the way that it is, the woman that I showed that had, what was it, the 44 kids or something, they actually have a show now. So there are real people showing you how they really live in some of these places. It's no way I could tell anybody that is in that particular situation, well, you still being greedy. I don't know why you're doing it. Get the fuck out of here. We do more for less over here. Let's just keep it a buck. We don't want to be uncomfortable. And all of a sudden, the decisions we make, we'll say we're trying to survive. No, you're not. You're trying to do too much. Because surviving, you really could, I don't care if it's 10 of y'all, be in a studio and you didn't have to commit that crime and you could have worked your way up from there. We don't want to do it. And we're not accustomed to, right? So also it's not fair for them to tell us we don't know what pain is. Our pain is just different. Everybody's pain is different. That's why it's best to empathize and ask some of this shit. I didn't know, but I do know that before Kasha passed, it's a lady out there and I got to connect back with her. I wasn't ready at the time, but she connected us together because the lady is in Africa and she's in one of the places that doesn't have water still and all of that. And she's trying to build it up there and she started a store. Something as simple as a little store with products, they didn't have it there. So she was trying, we're going to partner together or whatever. But to really know, like to hear it, I was like, wait, what? I was like, what do you mean? Some storm had just came through or something. So they now on top of not having it, the what you did have was just destroyed.
That's right.
I can't imagine. I can't say I wouldn't fight, because you're not, like JoJo said, you're not fighting for a house or a piece of that apartment. That's your everything. So I get it. I just wish the government would do something, because every country started with putting things in place. Why aren't you putting things in place so it could stop some of these wars? Because people are going, and kids and women over there are not off limits. That's the sad part.
Yeah, the leaders have to have the people's interest at heart for this to happen. And I'll have to say, in the places that have turmoil, most of those instances, not all, but most of those instances are where the leaders, the governing leaders, unfortunately, do not have, at least not always, the best interest of their people at heart. They have special interest coming into the country, going for whatever it is they can go after. And the leaders feel as though they can set their families up or set themselves up by partnering with these special interests.
Okay. Well, it's nice to know how you be here, and we're so happy that you are here, because that is not safe.
Thank you.
We're not gonna send you back. We would never, unless you're taking us with on vacation and promise us, like, on vacation.
Right.
We need to go on vacation.
It's not everywhere. It's not all the time. The specific country that I'm speaking of, it has mellowed down a lot. In fact, there hasn't been any. At one point of time, there was a general election in 2005 where both the winner and the runner-up declared themselves both presidents, and we had two presidents for 3 years in that country.
Oh, what, that had to be good. Now I need to research that, because I did a little bit before we came on.
Ivory Coast, the Ivory Coast. If you search it out, we had two presidents for 2 years until one decided, you know what, enough is enough. Like, I need to get you out of here, and then got the other. So we had two administrations. We had two of everything.
That's kind of, it offers a balance. I think that's kind of cool. That might be something to think about. But I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Thank you so much for sharing that. It's one thing to even see it on TV. Is one thing to hear about it, but to know that those things still happen today. So we still need to pray for Africa. If you are of African descent, that should be on your prayer list. If you can do things to send it over there. It's a lot of ways you can do it. We even do things through Delta. So if you don't trust it, get with somebody where you can send it like that way. But do something. It helps. Our little bit helps a lot more over there. So it's not that hard. So, any final words from anybody else before we end the show? No? Okay. Well, join us tomorrow on Rosé's show at 8 on Talk to Rosé, and then back here on Thursday at 9:10. Y'all want to know why it's 10 minutes after the hour? Because if I tell y'all 9, you're going to show up at 9:10. So I gave it 10 extra minutes so people don't be late. And every week, my panel is coming in late, and I'm sitting here like, okay. Oh no, adjust the camera. It's 9:15. Nope, everybody can wait. We're popular and rich. They're going to wait for us. Y'all pray over the staff. I don't pay them, but pay over the staff. Good night. Subscribe and like on the way out. See you later.